Okay, so this is the old Clio, the Mk1 Clio. I've spent a bit of time doing up. Did it up back in April this year. I've been sitting on my drive since 2011. I was just sitting there. I've always intended to sort of get it back on the road. Obviously, because it had been sitting there for so long, it literally hadn't even been started. I mean, the battery was completely dead. Couldn't even jump it. The battery was that dead. I just had to buy a new battery. Just realised it's a bit of polish there. A bit of wax. So that was the first thing that I had to replace, was the battery. I've had to replace a drive shaft because the upper CV boot was leaking, and therefore leaking gearbox oil, so I've had to replace all the gearbox oil in it. I've given it a complete engine flush and replaced all the coolant, all the antifreeze and everything. This plastic trim had all faded, so I bought some trim paint and took all this. This has actually gone white. It was so badly faded. So I've got a 1998 tax disc. So this is actually a 1996 model, first registered on the February the 14th, 1997. So it was built in 1996. It's a mid-range RN, because they did the RL, which is the sort of entry level bottom of the range one. Then they did the RN, slightly nicer trim. For instance, it had colour-coded bumpers and that kind of stuff. Then above this model was the RT, which was the 1.4, which are a bit more sought after apparently. But I think because this is quite a rare one now, they're not that sought after. Everyone goes after the either the RTs or the 16 valve 1.8s, or of course the Williams, but they go for stupid money. They go for like 20 grand, that sort of price. Yeah, it's had loads of work done on it. So I'm just going to pop the bonnet. Come around this side because it's a little bit windy at the moment. Obviously want to put the bonnet stay up. There's a pain in the arse when that's slammed shut. So zoom out a bit, so you can see the engine's pretty immaculate looking. New alternator, new battery, and new antifreeze. And this is the new idle control valve I replaced. Oh, and a new fan as well. A little homage to Mr. Hubnut there. It is one of the ones with a infrared key, and you have to lock it and then unlock it again to do the immobiliser. Otherwise you put the key in and it'll just turn over and won't start until you remember to do the immobiliser. It has actually been playing up a little bit. It's suffering from a bit of a problem with the idling, which is slightly annoying. When you rev it, it sometimes doesn't sort of come back down to the right idle, or it idles too low and it cuts out of junctions, which is not really what you want. Anyway, let's go for a spin. although it's the RT model, they didn't come with power steering as standard. That was an optional extra, and this one doesn't have it. So the steering's very heavy, and hence it's got a massive steering wheel as well. It's like driving a Ford Transit van or something. It also didn't come with ABS as standard, and so this doesn't have ABS. It doesn't have power steering. It's actually a very, very basic car. Well, it looks relatively modern. It's really about as modern to drive as a something like a Morris Minor. But it does have the D7F engine, which was introduced on the Phase 3. This is one of the early Phase 3 models. So it's trying to cut out. I'm having to do this bit of film actually, because when I filmed it the first time around, I played back the GoPro footage, and all you could see basically was the sun visor and a bit of the windscreen. So I had to angle the GoPro camera down much further so you can actually see the steering wheel and things like that. It's a fun little car to drive, this. It's, yeah, like I said, it's a D7F engine, which is the engine with electronic ignition, and it's got a coil pack and things like that on this car, so it's a bit more efficient. So it's a non-turbo, and it's 8 valves as well. It's cam belt drive, unfortunately, instead of a chain drive, like the Micras were chain drive. It's a bit of a dodgy junction here. I just wanted to do something different for the channel, really. I know it's called the Aylesbury Cyclist, and obviously it is predominantly about cycling, but I'm also into cars. And if you noticed, I've put a few videos of sort of driving and stuff like that, but just kind of fixed camera in the windscreen, really. But I just wanted to do a little talk about this little Renault Clio. It's 22 years old, and it drives pretty much like a brand new car, really. It's just a bit of fun. And to those people that say about cyclists, oh, you don't pay road tax, blah blah blah, you haven't got insurance and everything, well, actually, yeah, I do pay tax on the 3 cars that I own, and in fact, until a few weeks ago, I did own 4 cars, all fully taxed, fully road legal, fully insured. So my argument is, when I'm out riding a bike, I've got 3 cars sitting on my driveway at home that I'm not using, that I'm paying tax on. So, you know, people say you cyclists don't pay road tax and all the rest of it. Is that utter bollocks? For a start, there's no such thing as road tax anyway. It was abolished in 1930s, 1937, I believe. I I do need to do on this car is I need to do an oil change, and I'd also at some point like to do the cam belt as well, because the cam belt was actually only done, it was changed at 60,000, but that was about 12 years ago. It's only done 84,000, so it's only been done 24,000 on this cam belt, but you're supposed to change them every 60,000 miles or every 10 years, whichever comes soonest. So it does, 2 years overdue really. And it is an interference engine. It's my other half used to have a Mark II Clio, but it had the same engine as this, D7F engine, and her cam belt went, kind of wrote the car off basically. Gorgeous day today. It's probably one of the last nice days of the year. I was just about to look at the outside temperature, then, but of course this car doesn't have such luxury features. The other two cars that I've got a newer Clio, a Mark III Clio, that's a turbo. That's quite a nice car. That's my other half's car. And I've also got a Volvo V70, a great big estate car, 7-seater thing, and that is a 2.4 litre turbo, 250 brake horsepower, so it's a bit different to driving this. That's the family car, and this one, to be honest, just sits on the drive. I just take it out for a spin now and again, just a little hobby doing it up really. Yeah, so not all cyclists are anti-cars and don't have driving licences. So that's another thing, I've had that said to me before, and I had a bit of a run-in with somebody who tried to knock me off my bike, and it was about 18, and he was telling me to go out and get a driving licence. I've actually got an advanced driving licence, and the job that I do predominantly involves driving, and it also, not only does it involve driving, I have to have an advanced driving licence for it, and it involves driving on blue lights and sirens as well, quite a lot of the time. So I don't want to go into too much detail as to what I actually do for a living, but it just makes me laugh how people assume that because you're riding a bike, you don't know how to drive a car, or you haven't got a car, you haven't got a driving licence. That was like an accident waiting to happen. Someone's going to come hoofing it around this bend, aren't they? But it's okay because he's got his hazard warning lights on. That'll stop anyone going into him. Yeah, until a couple of weeks ago, I also had a little Nissan Micra, little K11 Micra. Absolutely cracking car, brilliant little car. That was my main hack I used for driving to work in. Fantastic little car. But, sold it to somebody, sold it to a colleague basically, colleague's other half. Little sort of glitch itchy thing occasionally, this car. I need to get to the bottom of it, and it's also running a bit cool. If you look at the temperature gauge there, see how low the temperature is. I think it needs a new thermostat, but I don't think it needs a new thermostat. It does need a new thermostat because it shouldn't be running that cool. So what I intend to do with this car is start using it a bit more. Really, just sort of keep it running, because the worst thing you can do with a car is just let them sit there, especially sort of over winter. So it does just sit on the drive. We need to replace the oil filter, the petrol filter, fuel filter at some point as well. I do need to replace the oil filter as well. I need to do an oil and filter change on it, because it's actually still got the same oil in that it's had for about the past 7 years while it's been sitting on my drive. But I mean, I did do really regular oil changes when I mean, this used to be my daily driver. This used to be my main car. Sort of oil change every sort of 5,000–6,000 miles or whatever, so I'm not overly worried about the oil that's in it. It's probably actually quite good, but it's still, you shouldn't have oil that's that old in an engine. Horn works. I had a little look on Google Earth, and I'm sure I can drive up here. I don't think this is private. I'm just gonna have a little meander up here. It doesn't say anything about being private. Well, if anyone says anything, I'll just say I didn't know it was private. Bit of road. It doesn't say that it's private, does it? However, it does look like I might get my car grounded. No, made it. I could come up here to do this filming really, but the trouble is I don't know if it is actually private. There's no sign saying it's private. I know for a fact this bit a little bit further on it isn't private, so it's not going to ground the car on here. That'll be. I wouldn't be able to do this in my Volvo. That's really easy to ground the Volvo. It's really low ground clearance on that. Yeah, it's done alright. So what I like about these sort of cars are French peasants' cars. They're like a Citroen 2CV or something like that. Believe it or not, this is actually a public highway. Deepest, darkest Buckinghamshire. Yeah, it's good fun. It's all good fun. I'm just going to slow down for this a little bit. Now, I have been down this bit in my Volvo because we had to come to a house along here to pick something up that's rather half bought on via Facebook, on one of these Facebook sites. But it was actually, we didn't buy it, it was just being given away. It was an old TV. So I have been up here. I hadn't been, the bit where I turned in off the main road, I hadn't been up there before. This is a cracking bit of fun driving along this road. It's a lot more fun than in the Volvo, because in the Volvo I was just going dead slow along here because I was so worried about scraping the bottom of the car on the road. But on this, it's not really going to happen. It's so tempting to just drive straight through that bit there, but I think that bit is definitely private. Such a nice day today, it really is. Now, should I go left or should I go right? Let's go left. before it just cuts out like that. I have no idea why it does that cutting out. I've replaced the idle control valve, I've replaced the potentiometer for the throttle, so I thought it would have been either of those. It doesn't seem to have made any difference. What I need to do really is take it to a Renault specialist and get them to stick a diagnostics computer on it. I've actually got a little Bluetooth diagnostics thing that links up to my phone, but that's for OBD2 port, and this is, well, that has got OBD. There's OBD1. There's a Renault specific one. Now at the moment it's revving really high. There's a wheel spin there. Well, I'd rather it was revving too high than too low and cutting out all the time. Help yourself to my side of the road, why don't you? Just gonna go this way, it's a bit nicer up this way. Went past him before on the way out.